Okay, so I will go ahead and proceed with discussing all the activities that we have carried out and how it was that it came about that we received this award. By the way, if you haven't seen it, the bowl that we received is back there on the piano, so on your way out, you're welcome to go and take a look at it. But essentially, in early 2012, Georgia Tech was invited to participate in a study about university retirement policies by the American Council on Education. They had received a grant from the SLOAN Foundation, and they invited universities around the country to participate in this event. And as mentioned, the study was sponsored by the SLOAN Foundation. And so one of the first things I had to do was to invite the Georgia Tech faculty and the retirees to fill out a survey that was conducted by the American Council on Education. Some of you may remember filling this out, or you may not. Once that was done, I also needed to gather some statistics regarding the retirees, how long they were here, how old they were, et cetera, with assistance from the Office of Institutional Research. In addition, I had to gather information about health insurance programs and retirement benefit options. And this, of course, was with assistance from the Office of the Human Resources and also the Benefits Committee of the Academic Senate, because I knew that there were some discussions going on about some new policies that were being instituted. Once I collected all that information, we responded to the institutional survey, which was a fairly lengthy document, and I needed to write a few paragraphs describing what we consider to be the important things going on at Georgia Tech. So to our pleasant surprise, we were chosen as one of the winners. The announcements were made in early summer 2012. And we have a link there that actually goes, the information is still posted on the ACE website. And we were invited to an awards ceremony and reception that was convened at the ACE headquarters in Washington, D.C. And here are some pictures of the tables. And here are the representatives from the 15 different universities that attended the reception. And here's a picture of what the bowl looks like. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the actual bowl that we have for Georgia Tech is in the back of the room. Okay, so what are the elements that actually led ACE to consider us one of the winners? Oh, first of all, I forgot to mention that Georgia Tech was one of 6 Research One universities that were chosen. The other, they had 5 for the bachelor's level universities, regular colleges, and then also 5 for the master's levels. The reasons were that, first of all, because Georgia Tech is pretty large, we had a fairly large number of faculty and retirees who filled out the survey. That counted in our favor. And they also considered that the options for health insurance at the time, I know that they are in flux, as Jim indicated, it is one of the major elements of the retirement program at Georgia Tech. Not all universities provide health insurance to the retiree and his or her dependents for life. A lot of places don't do that, so that's a really big benefit that we get. The second thing, or the third thing, had to do with the offering of the health savings account option, which it was fairly new at the time. That came up in 2009. That was the first time that it was offered. And in talking to a lot of different people, it's really clear that most people don't understand how it works. So I'll be more than happy to explain it to you in great detail. But the bottom line is, unless you have a lot of medical expenses, the health savings option is the best deal, because if you normally pay $500 for you and your family per month, that's money that goes away. that's $6,000 in a year that you're paying into the health account. If you put the same $6,000 into your health savings account, the amount that actually gets charged to your, for the insurance premium is $300. The rest of it goes into your health savings account. If you use the $5,700 or whatever it is, then you come out even. If you only spend $2,000 at the end of that year, you have $3,700 left in your account, and it's your money. Now, you cannot take that money away at that point. You can only use it for medical expenses. However, once you retire, that money is yours for the taking for whatever you want. So it is a wonderful, wonderful option to take, and I would highly recommend that you look. Everybody's situation will not be suitable for this program, but I have found it to be great. In the 5 years I've been a member of it, I've collected a lot of money because I haven't had that many medical expenses. Okay, enough of that. The other thing that they really liked was the fact that we do have a special celebration that goes on. There is a big dinner which is held in September. I believe it's sometime in the fall, and it is hosted by the provost's office, and all retirees, regardless of position, from the highest administrator to the custodian, are given an honor. In honor, they get a glass buzz. If you have retired, I don't know whether you can go back, and if you didn't get your buzz, if you're already retired, I don't know if you can go back and claim one. But if you haven't retired, make sure that you sign up to attend this retirement dinner, because that buzz is really a very, very special memento of your years of working at Georgia Tech. Okay, so now I will go on to describe some of the activities that we have carried out with this project. So here's a list of some of the external activities that we have had. We normally have monthly teleconferences with the ACE staff and the other retirement transition winners. The other universities, by the way, include Princeton University, University of California, Davis, San Jose State University, Bentley College, Mount Holyoke. Those are the names that come to mind right now. We will actually be hosting the teleconference on July 10th of 2014, and we will be talking about all the things that we've been doing on our campus, which is what all the other winners have been doing in their presentations. We also wrote a chapter for a book, which is actually displayed there, this faculty retirement best practices for navigating the transition. There are 18 chapters in the book, and one of them has to do with the programs at Georgia Tech. I am requesting permission to actually post the monograph. I won't be able to post the whole book on the website that I'll be talking about in just a moment, but so far I haven't gotten permission for that. The other thing that we're doing externally is we are going to contribute to a presentation by the winners to the AROHI conference, which is going to take place in Minneapolis in August of this year. AROHI stands for the Association for Retired Officers of Higher Education, Organization of Higher Education. The other advantage of being part of this program is that we've been learning a lot about other faculty flexibility programs that ACE and SLOAN put together. And just learning more details about how other universities work with their retirees. And one of the comments that I have gotten in getting in touch with a lot of you and a lot of other people who weren't able to come is that they really appreciate the fact that we're reaching out to you. Many of you have retired and have feel that no one ever inquired as to about your whereabouts. Now, those of you who maintain your close ties to Georgia Tech probably don't feel that way, but there are others who have been gone for a long time, and so, definitely you're welcome. You might want to know that one thing that we do not have is the concept of phased retirement, which apparently is a big deal at a lot of other universities. And University of Southern California, which is one of the other winners, they have a well-established Emeritite Center where they have a lot of activities for the Emeritite faculty to participate in. And we will be having links to all of these different sources of information if you want to learn more about it. Okay, so what have we been doing on the Georgia Tech campus? You already know about some of these things. One of the main things has been the legacy project competitions, where we have provided funds from the money that we received to several retirees who wanted to either complete a project or start a project that will hopefully have long-lasting impact on the future of Georgia Tech students. In addition to that, we're developing a comprehensive website that incorporates all of the important information for retirees with links to different resources on campus as well as outside of campus. A lot of the links are going to be with the Office of Human Resources, the Provost Office, Institutional Research Office, et cetera, et cetera. We are also developing peer profiles for the Emeritite faculty to highlight their accomplishments. We basically got this idea by looking at some of the other websites, and we thought that was a really great way to honor, some of the most productive members of the faculty. And finally, we are also trying to assist the Silver Jackets with integrating their website into our own website, and also updating it. I want to, before I move on to the next slide, I want to highlight that the stormwater master plan that Thomas Debo is working on has actually been funded by the SLOAN Foundation. There was an article in the Whistle, or it used to be called the Whistle, I don't remember what it's called, the Georgia Tech Daily Digest just yesterday. That's a very interesting project where he's involving a lot of students. Another bit of information, of course, will be, how to deal with, working with your money. Obviously, I don't have time to talk about that here, but we'll have links for different financial information. The Office of Human Resources gives you access to the vendors that deal with the different accounts. But there's a wealth of information out there which has nothing to do with the vendors, and that will also be included on this website. And then in general, education technology. These are some of the areas where the projects will impact. So far, we have awarded 7 legacy projects. One of them is being done by Jerry Pullman, and he's conducting research with undergraduates on endangered plant species. Jim Craig, he's done some work on developing teaching technologies for automated lecture capture for his undergraduate structural mechanics course, and he's going to be making that available. I need to talk to him about giving a presentation perhaps via CETL so that other faculty can benefit from what he's been able to learn with the equipment that we were able to purchase for him. Andy Griffin, he's conducting some interesting research that leads a certain type of materials known as auxetic, which they're looking at what makes them expand when they are stretched. Most of you know that most materials, when you expand them, they actually shrink in dimensions, but the auxetic materials, when you stretch them, they actually expand. So it's a really interesting phenomenon. Jim Mindel is actually, I apologize, Andy is actually in the audience here in the middle of the room. I also want to introduce Jim Mindel, who's on the table over there with Diana Palma, and he is developing teachable moments outreach kits with Georgia Tech graduate students. I will say a little more about his project in a moment. I already mentioned Thomas Debo's project on the stormwater management plan for the campus. Dick Shork is doing some mathematical models to explain self-replicating molecules. And Jim Gold is studying the energetics of electron transfer on semiconductor interfaces. So as you can see, the gamut of projects is pretty extensive. And we're going to see where our budget stands, but there is a chance that we're going to offer at least one more internal competition. So be on the lookout for an email from me regarding that. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more description about Jim's project with the teachable moments in STEM. This is basically a collaborative educational outreach program where graduate students conduct microelectronics and nanotechnology research with K through 12 students. The project is being funded by a variety of sources. We're only one of them. The most innovative part, I thought, was to use the crowdfunding website, where donors can give anywhere from $5 to $200. And within 2 weeks, I think he was able to meet the original goal. So it's been successful. He is pictured here with Diana and some of the graduate students who signed up on the first cohort of students to develop the outreach kits. And here are some pictures of the students inside of the clean room with the equipment that they use. Okay, let me say a little more about the website that we're actually working on. We haven't completely settled on the name, but the motivation is to really provide all of the resources in one single place rather than have to force faculty to dig for which section of the Georgia Tech website actually has the information. So the components of the website will have pre-retirement planning considerations, so anybody who hasn't yet retired, can look into this before making final decisions. Anybody who's already retired, they will be interested in learning possibly on ways that you can continue your engagement with Georgia Tech. Even though it's not listed here, one of the easiest ways to do that is to apply to become an emeriti faculty member, and that allows you to be able to either continue your research or continue teaching or continue doing service. There's a lot of different options. I already mentioned the faculty profiles. And we will also have other Georgia Tech initiatives for retirees. And then finally, the link to the Silver Jackets website. So I'm going to take a moment here just to go to the current version of the software. Not the software, I apologize, the website. And you will see, here we go, that's what it looks like. So that's the welcome. And then this actually tells you something about Georgia Tech, then the national programs. Then we have planning or approaching retirements, researching your benefits, remaining engaged, tips on effectively entering retirement. We have part-time employment, then the Silver Jackets link. And this is where we'll have the profiles, and we already have several of the profiles listed there. We're not yet rolling out this because we have to get the final signatures from all the persons that are whose profiles we're posting, to ensure that everything. We got all the information from them, but we still need a signature to guarantee that they have approved the posting of the profiles. Okay, so the information that's on the peer profiles it includes the years of service as a Georgia Tech faculty member, A short description of the scholarly teaching interests and related accomplishments, any kind of activities or expansion of their professional and personal interests in retirement, and their level of continued engagement with Georgia Tech, as well as some words of wisdom that each of them can give to anybody who is who's wanting to decide on retirement. On this next slide, this is an example. We don't know if it will look exactly like this, but this is actually Stephen Harvey, who was a professor in biology, and there's the different bits of information that we mentioned. Okay, so at this point, I am going to let my colleague, let me first talk about the Silver Jackets website link. Those of you who are members already know what the Silver Jackets are, but it is actually an organization which was originally established by Maureen Glass back in 2007. And it's an organization that actually meets about once a month, and they talk about volunteer opportunities. They have people from OHR talk about benefits right before the the roll call. I mean, not the roll call, but the signing in, which I guess is in November. And then they also sponsor social events. Essentially, they had someone who assisted in the development of a website, which unfortunately was stopped back in 2010. So the student who's been helping us to develop the website that I just showed you is going to be transferring all the information for the Silver Jackets, and we will teach them how to update it so that this can be maintained anytime there's a changeover. Of course, we will still be around, we will help, but we won't really actively control what's going on in the Silver Jackets. We'll just have the link from our website, but this is in process.